Good morning, everybody. My name is Melissa Tuff, and I am a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. And I am welcoming you to celebrate your spiritual magnificence here. Our vision is to create a world that works for everyone. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're what? Welcome here. That's right. We believe that we are co-creators with the divine and that you can change your entire life by changing your mind, right? We got you guys. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy, and we teach universal truths that are found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. Please visit our website at cslcapecoral.org for prayer requests or use the Contact Us tab to send us your comments and questions. And I would like to introduce our lovely meditation facilitator today, Miss Linda Lloyd.
Thank you, Melissa. So this is the time for our meditation, a time to turn within, to commune with Spirit, and to meet together in this field of love intentionally. So I invite you to become still and just let go of everything that came before this moment. All the hustle and bustle of getting here. All the hustle and bustle of our daily lives. Just hit the pause button for a few moments. These precious moments. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath together with me. And just letting go. And one more nice deep breath. Breathing in Spirit. And breathing out any tension. As we relax together into God. Intentionally moving out of our minds, down into our heart space, and down into our solar plexus, into our inner sanctuary. Opening our hearts, perhaps visualizing having shutters on the heart and flinging them wide open. Being open and receptive to Spirit. To this field of love in which we live, move, and have our being in. In this inner sanctuary, we allow ourselves to be completely open and receptive to awareness, to insights, and just allowing whatever wants to go on in the mind, all the thoughts, to just go by like clouds in the sky. In these precious moments, we're just being aware, watching our thoughts, not attaching to them. Just letting them be. And doing a little scan of the body, starting at the toes. Feeling the energy as if it's coming in through your feet and following it up your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, up the torso, up the belly, the chest, the neck, and through the head all the way to the top. And following that energy back down and just noticing any places of tension. And if you come across any, just breathe. Breathe some love into them. And just allow the body to completely relax. And becoming aware of our skin. And all the pores in our skin. And actually, our skin is breathing. Just like our lungs, we breathe air through these pores. So as we become aware of our breath, becoming aware of breathing in spirit, that energy that surrounds us, that guides us, that loves us, that created us. And just consciously breathing in that divine love energy through every pore of our being. As we recognize that we do not begin and end with our skin. This gentle breeze that is surrounding us. This palpable energy is also a part of us. So as we expand our awareness beyond our body temples to this field of energy of love, just taking it all in. Perhaps allowing gratitude to well up. Giving thanks for this energy, this oxygen that is everywhere present, that allows us life, this precious element, the air, as we consciously take it in and consciously breathe out. And taking a moment to ponder that as we breathe out, we are sustaining all of the plant life on earth. For we breathe in the oxygen that they help create. And they need what we breathe out. So we live in this symbiotic life, supporting each other. And so we just allow these precious moments to revel in that awareness. In the oneness. That we are all an individualized part of. We all breathe the same air, every human being. We all eat from the same bowl of Mother Earth. We all have our individualized gifts and talents, our parts to play in this great dance of life. Each one important. And recognizing our own worthiness. That we have been created by this divine energy of love intelligence. Each one an integral part of the whole. So we just allow ourselves just to revel in that awareness. We are awesome beings, each one. Each one here and across the globe. Every person, every animal, every critter, every plant. And so how good it is to come together, to revel in this field of oneness, and to take this time to remember who and whose we are, to recalibrate, to recognize our magnificence. So ever so slowly and gently, bring your awareness back to the seat beneath you. Becoming aware again of your sweet neighbors. And just allowing gratitude for this time together in this stillness. And giving thanks for each one. And for this beautiful life that breathes us, that beats our hearts. And ever so slowly and gently, when you're ready, slowly begin to open your eyes. And perhaps give a glance at one of your neighbors. And seeing that magnificence that is filling this room. Thank you. Namaste.
And now let's welcome the wonderful Fanny Frost and the Big Love Band to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. All right. It's nice to be home. Hey, Gail. All right, we got to do the opening song. My soul is welcome here, so you're invited to sing along with us.
Stand and join us.
That's right.
Supposed to be. I'm in the right place, at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place, at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. Right. I'm in the right place, at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place, at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Oh, that sounds really good. Thank you, everybody.
There was a time in my life thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. No, I didn't know the love of God was I had. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just another day. Got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on now. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Wow. Fanny brought it today. Thank you, Fanny. And I'm glad you all remained standing. See, we've got you pretty well trained here, don't we? So we are going to speak this blessing together. And I would like you to join me. Warm those hands up of manifestation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center.
Broken down and tired, living a life in the merry-go-round. You can find the fighter, but I see in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Ooh, mountains, gonna walk it out. Ooh, mountains. I rise up, I rise like the day. I rise up, I rise unafraid. I rise silence isn't quiet. Feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying. But I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Ooh, mountains, bring it to its feet. Ooh, mountains. I rise up, rise like the day. I rise up, unafraid. I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, have each other, for that we have each other. Hey, we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise up, rise like the day. Rise up. In spite of the I rise 1,000 times again. We rise up high like the waves. We rise up in spite of the ache. We rise up and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Rise up indeed. Thank you so much, Fanny. Let's give her a little more love. Don't you just love it here? It is always a special day here at Centers for Spiritual Living, and I am Linda Lloyd, one of the licensed practitioners here at the center, and it is my great honor and pleasure to do the reading today and prayer. 2021's global theme is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And our monthly theme is actually the same as today's talk, and that is Reaching Higher. So we've been sung in, and here are, you've probably noticed lately that we've been doing our mission and purpose statement, starting the service with that. And in today's notes for the talk, they included some of that global vision. And so I thought that I would read the longer version of it to you today. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers his or her own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. Just love that. That is the vision of our collective CSL centers and groups. And I have a little reading from Joel S. Goldsmith, one of my favorite authors, and this is from Practicing the Present. It can be found on page 105. If we make contact with the kingdom of God within us, we shall be living through God the rest of our days. Then spiritual sonship, God expressing itself as individual selfhood, that's with a capital S, will be revealed on earth. God formed us to manifest itself on earth, to show forth its glory. And that is our destiny. God planted its infinite abundance in the midst of us. Nothing need come to you or to me, but everything must flow out from us. So let us take that into prayer. So how good it is to take this pause, to come together, and to remember this one life that is everywhere present, this field of God, this field of good, which we live, move, and have our being in, that we were created from, and recognizing the Creator and the Creator as one in the same thing, this lovingness, this beingness, this isingness of this thing we call God. And as I recognize this to be so, I know that I am the very thing itself, a unique manifestation of this love energy come forth in a unique and individually expressed way. And as I know this for myself, I know this for each one here and beyond, that we are all unique, divine creations of this love intelligence, so magnificent, so awesome, so wonderful, each one. So I am just so grateful to have these moments to remember this and to anchor this together, and just knowing that from this love energy, from this place of beingness, that everything is unfolding just perfectly, just as it should, and just knowing this service today is that perfection unfolding itself and celebrating itself. So for this and so much more, I do give great thanks, knowing that this talk coming forth from Ron is indeed blessed and a blessing and falls upon wide open, available hearts, and that we all leave here a little bit differently than when we came, lifted a little higher. I release this word and allow it to be. Together, you can anchor this with me by saying, "And so it is." Thank you.
And now it is my great pleasure to introduce motivational speaker, life coach, author, and friend, fellow practitioner Ron Frost, who will be delivering our message today.
Thank you, Melissa, for that wonderful introduction, and Linda for the blessing of the prayer and the reading. And isn't the band hot? I mean, I really, yeah, there's somebody else who's hot too. That vocalist, right? I just feel so amazing to be here, and just so grateful for Pam reaching out to me, and for, I know you had expressed me coming to speak and stuff. It's just, this is like my home. This is when we first arrived. And I think it was back in 2010 or somewhere around there was when we first came to this center. So it's a blessing to actually be here and to see faces like Roger's and everybody else. It's just a blessing to be here. And so as I start speeches, I have a process around giving a speech. I take whatever the topic is, and I put it into an I am statement, like a mantra, and I meditate on that. I just kind of allow myself, my brain to brew into the magnificence of the word. And so if it's about being prosperity, I would say I am prosperous. I am prosperous. I am prosperous. And if it's about if it's about joyfulness, I would be like, I am joy. I'm actually Ron. Joy's not here today, but I am joy. I am joy. So reaching higher, I kind of figured out that I would practice the mantra of, I am high. It didn't really work. Fanny's in the other room like, hon, are you okay in there? I'm just practicing my speech. Om, I am high, I am high, I am high. Imagine at a Walmart checkout line. Sir, did you find everything today? I am high, I am high, I am high. Didn't know we sold that. So what is it about reaching higher? This is the theme of this month. It's the title of my talk. And what is it about that? Why is that important? And more or less, what do we do? What do we do? How do we practice the art of reaching higher? How do we achieve more greatness in our life? How do we reach more fulfillment, more joy? And as we're expanded beings of the one divine source, as we do for ourselves, we're an integral part of the divine matrix of the universe. So as we're raising our vibration, as we're seeking more in our dreams and our desires and our goals, and we're fulfilling in our sacred service, the urge that's within us that we're blessing, as we're reaching higher with that, we're shifting humanity. We're shifting consciousness on this planet. True? So as I realize this, I realize there's basically 4 things that I have found that allows me to shift myself higher, allows me to reach higher. And those 4 things are recognizing my true self, know thyself, and I would say that's more of the divine nature of the self. And then the second is letting go. I release and I let go. The song was perfect for that. I release and I let go. The things we let go of allows us to rise higher. And third, to practice the state and the art of gratitude. Because when we practice gratitude, that just shifts us emotionally and brings us more into the now. And last is intentional kindness. So as we go through these, realizing my true self, being able to let go, feeling gratitude within, and then expressing kindness into the world, this will allow us to be more sacred beings of light, that we can make a difference not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity. So with the first one, I truly believe is something that this center does. It's why we're here. It's what brought us here. It's to realize there's something more to life, to realize there's something more to who we are as humans. And we're not just this physical human vessel, that we are more than this. As Wayne Dyer says, we're not really here as a human being having a spiritual experience. It's momentary human spiritual experience, but we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Totally flips that around. In so many of the teachings that we may grow up in, we don't think about that. We may wonder if we're a soul, but if we have a soul, right? We don't really have a soul. We are a soul. And yet we're put in a position, old belief systems and teachings and even old religions that have a belief system that allows us to feel less than worthy. That there's something, perhaps outside of us. What we look at a supreme being or God as being outside of us. And we feel weak to that. We feel small to that. We feel insufficient. And when we realize the truth of our divine nature, that I am one with this infinite creator, that changes everything. And our Science of Mind prayer really does that. The first 2 steps of the Science of Mind prayer, the first 2 steps of affirmative prayer. Who knows those? And what are they? Yes, recognition and unification. Or, God is all there is, and I am one with that. Pretty simple. And if we were to do no more than that, just the first two steps, we would shift our life for the better. God is all there is, the infinite presence. And it didn't leave me out of that equation. I am one with that infinite presence. And that's the space where we can create miracles. And even Jesus said, you shall do these things and even greater things. And we're led to believe that we seek the Savior outside of ourselves when we realize that is the Savior within. So as we start to align with our true nature, the light that is within, then we start to shift and we start to work in the world of miracles. And everything is transformative. We no longer are operating in fear, but we're moving to faith because we know that this power for good, that there's a power for good in the universe and you can use it. The words of Ernest Holmes, I live by those words. There's a power in a world for good and you can use it. Just think about that. There's a power in a world for good and we can use it. During our regular day, do we think about that? Do we live in that space? So it's important to take this and shift ourselves. And you know what? I don't know if you're like me, but I have a hard time saying the word, I am God. I don't want to stand on a stage and say, I am God. But what I've done is I've played with words that are comfortable to me, that allow me to reunite that. Like, I am the love and light of the universe, and the love and light of the universe is me. How does that feel? Let's say that together. I am the love and light of the universe, and the love and light of the universe is me. And as we practice that, this completely, again, transforms our life, and then we move from that state of fear into that state of knowingness. Now, fear is really one of the big things that, we can do for ourselves as well as we can do for humanity, is being able to get outside of fear. Because fear, we don't necessarily make the best decisions. We limit, our growth, our potentiality. We restrict the things that maybe we truly want to do in life. And we don't necessarily make the best decisions, do we, out of fear? In 1994, I had an experience that really kind of taught me a lesson about fear. I was working for a company that was an international company. We were setting up franchises, sign and graphics businesses, and they're sending me off to Recife, Brazil. How many people know where Recife, Brazil is? You know it. Yeah, it's on that little tip. It's the easternmost part. And so about 3 weeks before going on my trip, I was sharing with a friend, and a friend just said, oh, I know somebody who got shot and murdered in Brazil. And I'm like, all this excitement about, roaming around the country with my backpack and visiting places. But you know what? Brazil is kind of like almost like the landmass of the United States. So that's kind of like saying you're going to Connecticut. I heard about a murder in Los Angeles. But in my mind, it's like, oh no, I felt that, I took that in. When we have an outside source that delivers us a message that's fear-based, we have a choice to perceive it that way or not. And so as time went on, I actually, flew down there, and the driver that they sent for me, it was a very funny, little man that came up, and he grabbed my bags and could speak pretty good English, threw my bags into the car, and as we were driving, I happened to, ask him, this is where my hotel is. I was kind of concerned. I was like, how is that section of town? Is it safe? Of course, whatever I was being told here, I just wanted to anchor, is it safe? And he's, oh, no problem, sir. It's beautiful, great restaurants, but don't go out at night. And then he proceeded to do something that I've just never thought before. It's like he's rolling up his arm and he's showing me a bullet that hit him in the arm when he was at a nightclub that was miles away from where the hotel was. But somehow I was attracting this energy of that gunfight into my presence. I get to the business, and this is a new business. I'm helping them launch, helping them get started, doing the training thing. They got the employees there, and I don't know if it was the end of the first or the second day, but it got to later in the day, and everybody had gone home, and it was just me and the owner. And we were working on a piece of equipment that somehow when it got shipped down there, it wasn't working correctly, so I was trying to fix it. And the owner ended up leaving. He ended up going to use the bathroom. I actually don't know where he went, but he left the area. And here I am all alone, and I don't know what prompted me, but I was just like, I need to get a little bit of fresh air. So as I walk towards the front door and I open the front door, I look outside, and there's a man standing there with a gun in his hand. I'm not kidding you. And I just froze. I backed up, and I went back into the area where the production area was of the sign business, and I found a pair of tweezers. And I grabbed these tweezers. And I don't know if you've ever worked in a sign company, but they're used to with a little vinyl lettering to help remove the decals and stuff. Tweezers are everywhere in a sign company. So I grabbed these tweezers, and I'm sitting there, and the owner's not here, and I got this vision of this man with a gun, and I don't know if I'm going to stab him in the neck or if I'm going to end up plucking his eyebrows. But I had the tweezers in my hand. And a moment later, the owner comes out of the bathroom and walks up, and he sees me like, is everything okay? I said, there's a man with a gun out there. He goes, oh yeah, I know that. I hired him. He's there every night. He protects us so we can work, we can work with comfort. Perception is one of the biggest things. If I realize that I'm a divine being, I should have no fear because I know I'm divinely guided. And what we would call the fear-induced state of whatever that is, it's that outside information that comes to us. Whether it comes from an individual or comes through a television, it doesn't really matter. We absorb it. Fanny and I made a decision years ago we moved and we decided not to sign up for cable. And we're like, oh, we don't need it. Information will come to you, the right information. But the more we separate from the fear-based information, the more we can tune into the intuitive. The intuitive is really the thing that should guide us. That's what the whole spiritual awakening is all about, is becoming a sacred sovereign being of light and understanding that we have this inner voice, the source of the divine. And if you think about tuition, tuition is typically the money that's given up for education, for knowledge, for wisdom. Well, intuition is the going in and surrendering that for the voice of God, the voice of the divine. And so every time we have something that comes into our life, we need to know, what is the truth? We use discernment, and we understand, and we listen to our intuition and use that for guidance. And intuition may protect you, but it will never use fear. So the second thing is the releasing and the letting go. And this is something that I guess we all need to practice. We all have something. Maybe it's something, or maybe it's someone, or it's a time in our life, but it's still running as a program in the back of our mind. We have the physical things that we can let go. We can put them out by the street, or we can bring them to a center that can donate them. You can bring beautiful paintings here and put them in the back because they're going to be auctioning them off to raise funds for the center. There are those physical things, but then there are the emotional things that we need to let go of as well. The times when we felt like we were done wrong, and yet they're still running as a program in the back of our mind. They're still emotionally hindering us from living our true self, from rising higher. They're the ball and chain that's keeping us grounded and doesn't allow us to truly express our innermost wisdom and our sacredmost beingness. I mean, I've gone through this. I had an ex-business partner that I felt that wronged me. And I lived my story like every single day. Have we ever lived our story? And every time I talked to somebody, they were like, oh, you better get a lawyer. You could sue him. You always have those friends that tell you can sue everybody. It's like, yeah, well, you could probably spend a lot more money with, I have a friend, he did. He spent a lot more money with the lawyer, and it never won the case. And then afterwards, he's like, what do I do now? Do I sue the lawyer? But part of that was like, I had to release that, and I had to kind of let it go, and I had to, in a certain point, I got to a point saying, if I am a divine being of grace, and I purposely designed my life, I probably designed that moment too, and it was there for me to transform, transcend, and become aware of the gift within it, and the releasing of it. And after I did, my entire life shifted so much. I was living at that victim, because there was money involved. Every time there's money involved, you're always like feeling somebody did you wrong. But when I'm in the presence of that victim story, I was losing money in other places too. And I had this chronic, like a sinus infection where I always had this cough. I wasn't feeling 100%. Once I released and let that go, it not only felt liberating, but my life changed. I started traveling international. I met Fanny a year later. Things just started blossoming beautifully. But I had to realize that was something I just chose not to carry. So we all have something. We all have something in our life to let go of. And these come around a vast variety of things. It's not just forgiveness, it's choices. Choices. Your no's define your yeses. So as we come across the buffet of life, and we don't know whether we're spending the time in a salad bar or in a dessert part, we have so many choices, and we need to know what is true for myself. And I define that, what makes us most joyful? What makes us most passionate? What makes us most excited? And we use those to bring clarity around the thing that is either of our service or the choices of the things that we want to partake within. And how many of us have sometimes been overwhelmed, right? Maybe even right at this moment. So it's understanding where we say no to. And a lot of times there's guilt around the word no. We've got somebody that's asking it with their friend or a family member or whatever, and there's guilt around saying no, but our importance really is to shine our light. And sometimes when you say no to something, that creates a void for somebody else to take on that task or whatever that is. There's been plenty of times when somebody has left something and somebody else comes in. We've seen that. And that's really what life is all about, is realize we are, if you think about a puzzle piece, you ever worked on a puzzle and you had that one puzzle piece and I know it goes there and you're trying to jam it in there, but it's not fitting. And you're like, just like our life, every puzzle piece around us has to change for us to be happy. But the truth is, we're that divine puzzle piece that is, we realize and recognize the truth of who we are, and we say yes to the things we want to, say no to the things we don't want to, understand our divinity. We shine and align, and all those other puzzle pieces around us, the family members, the friends, the associates, we are supporting them because we are doing the thing that is true for ourselves. We are becoming that aligned puzzle piece which completes the picture of the entire puzzle of humanity. That's how special you are. And so to realize that and process of letting go of the things that no longer serve, then we can shift to that special gift that we are and practice that. Now, the state of gratitude or the art of gratitude is one of those things that I had started practicing, and then I kind of gave up on it. And recently, with my prayer partner, who Malika is my prayer partner, we pray every Monday morning. We use gratitude a lot. It's one of the first things we do when we share and start before we even pray. We actually express gratitude. And I believe gratitude is the one thing, it's the one mind hack that we can quickly go into a state that allows us to align. Even if a person says, I have trouble meditating, I'll say, can you practice gratitude? Oh, I can do that. Even if it's one little thing that you can pick up a pebble or a flower and look at, God's beautiful creation and actually admire it and feel grateful for it, it brings us into the present moment. Or your cat, or your dog. How many people are pet lovers here? Tonight, just sit there and just look into their eyes and just say how much I love you, how much I appreciate you, and spend some time and feel that same animal saying that back to you. Because they do. They really appreciate our presence. Or start a gratitude journal. Does anybody currently have a gratitude journal? Nice. And when I first started my gratitude journal, it was like trying to fill out 100 pages, concentrating just on one thing at a time, whatever that thing is, and expressing the appreciation for that. That shifts you. I had a person that, she was sharing with me Ron, I couldn't do the forgiveness part. But what I did was I took the person that I could not forgive, and I found one thing to be grateful in that same person, and I felt the release. There's not always one way to do things. But when we can see even some of those people in our life that maybe we had issues with, maybe we had trouble with, if we can find one thing that's good and then another, that feeling of gratitude will help shift yourself. It'll shift them too. It'll shift the whole world. Being grateful for your car. I love my old Jeep. It's old. Starts most of the time. But when it doesn't, I get to ride my bike. It burns a little oil, but the blue smoke keeps the mosquitoes away. The air conditioning hasn't worked in ages, but the windows do. And the beautiful Florida air blowing through my long blonde hair is absolutely amazing. I know I'm illusional also. And it's tough to get up to the speed limit when going on those on-ramps onto a highway. But, in those perfect moments when there's a starlight sky and there's a downhill grade with a slight tailwind, I can almost approach the speed limit. Being even in humor, even in the appreciation of the little things, that will help shift us. The other thing about gratitude is that when we're in gratitude, we can't be in a state of victimhood. When we're in gratitude, we can't be in a state of guilt, shame, or blame. Our responsibility is to bring ourselves up this emotional, this vibrational scale, to love, to compassion, to joy, to peace. And the more that we can practice that, the better. As we become grateful, we can no longer, in those moments of being grateful, we can no longer be in those lower vibrations. True? Try to be grateful and at the same time feeling like you're victimized. It's tough. So practicing gratitude, and the more that you do that, the more that you're actually rewarding yourself. And at the same thing is gratitude. And Joe Dispenza talks about this. How many people follow Joe Dispenza? Yeah, he talks about this. He creates a whole course around this. Gratitude is the state of receiving good. So when you're in gratitude, the universe is like, oh, they loved my present, I'm going to send them more. And so when you're in that state of receiving good, you're not in the resistance. You're not in the feeling of the things that are not in your life. You're not looking at your lack. You're in that state of receiving. If you did nothing more than practice gratitude, if the entire planet took a moment to do this, we'd shift the whole world instantaneously. Because gratitude really is that energy that allows the greater good to unfold. And so the last thing is what I would call intentional kindness. It's not intentional in a way of being like superficial or fake or insincere, but it's being intentional about kindness. Because if we are intentional about kindness in everything, to ourselves, We need to be kind to ourselves. But if we're intentional in kindness to everybody and anybody and anything, we can no longer experience division. It simply can't happen. So regardless of differences, you don't see differences when you intend to be kind. Whether a person or a situation or whatever, if you have differences on any level, race, color, religion, country of origin, choices, any choice that we make in life, even in this moment of confusion, a person that chooses to be vaccinated or not, it's a choice. Person who likes blueberries on your ice cream or not. I happen to like blueberries, but this is choice. And so when we align ourselves with kindness, that I will be kind because I understand that we're all divine beings of light, and as divine beings of light, we're given free will. And in this moment of great awakening, that I understand that my sacred self is to be kind, to be loving, to be compassionate, even if I don't completely understand. I can still choose to be kind. I wrote a poem a while ago, and it was expressing from my heart, what is it like to be kind? Because quite often our ego mind wants to control, wants to say, you do it my way. It wants to plan everything. It wants to change everything. It's that puzzle piece that wants to jam itself and say, everybody else change for me, right? But kindness is gentle. Kindness is being able to, see and look into the eyes of another. And whether it's just a gentle smile or doing a kind thing of opening a door or giving of something or recognizing the good in somebody else. Kindness is holding that space for the spirit, the divine, that's within all things, right? There's only one thing here. Only one infinite thing. And we're all manifestations of it. Therefore, you and I are one. So we can get to that level of kindness through intentionality, then we can create miracles. So I wrote this little poem. It's called I Didn't Come Here to Teach You. And it started with somebody on Facebook that made a comment, and I was reading the comment, I started writing these words. It goes, I didn't come here to teach you. I came here to love you. I didn't come here to guide you, to push you, or make you do it my way. I came here to love you. I didn't come here to judge you, to blame you, or see you as wrong. I came here to love you. And it is the love that I am that recognizes the love that you are. The love that I am sees the divinity within you, the wholeness, the beauty, the perfection, and the divine special light that you shine into this world. I came here to love you. Let's take this moment into prayer. As we breathe the breath of life, let us know that regardless of what may be going on in the outer world, that there is one infinite truth. There is one infinite thing, the breath behind all life. That which we know is spirit, divine beauty of the universe, or simply by the word God. God is all there is. It is the sacred sense of creative expression. It is the love. It is the wholeness. It is the joy in the heart. It is the sense of reaching higher. And with this, that I know that I am one with this infinite creative thing, that it moves me, lives in me. It is the expression that I am. And that as I am, I know the same truth for this sacred collection of souls, noticed as a Center for Spiritual Living, that are here in this present moment, either seated in the room in front of me or online. That I know this same divine presence exists and breathes as their infinite presence. And with that, I know that there is a blessing going on right here, right now. That we are fulfilled with our greatest yet to be. That we are joyful. We are abundant. We are whole in perfection, in health, and in beauty. And we are the expression of that one sacred love that transforms universes. It's with a grateful heart that I feel this, that I know this, and I surrender these words of truth to the infinite law of mind. And we anchor this by saying the words, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ron, for that wonderful message. I just feel all warm and fuzzy inside now. And so this is the perfect time for us to express our gratitude for everything that's transpired here today. And I know I, for one, am very grateful to have CSLCC to learn, grow, teach, and practice the science of mind philosophy. And the way that we can do that is through your tithes and donations. They are the reason that our doors are still open and our lights are still on, so thank you for that. And so speaking on behalf of our leadership, as I am the treasurer, and we have our vice president here also with us today, I just want to thank you. And so we offer several ways for you to give. You can text your tithe to 239-320-3820. You can send your contribution through PayPal using our PayPal address, paypal@cslcapecoral.org. Or you can make it easy on yourself and just visit our website at cslcapecoral.org and click that little donate button on our page. You can also do it the old-fashioned way and send us a check. Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida, 33990. And you can also visit smile.amazon.com when you're purchasing your books or just your general shopping and select the Center for Spiritual Living as your charity of choice, and we get a little bit of money back from that. And I think to date we've gotten close to $600 this year. So, yeah, so every little bit counts, and we appreciate it. And so for those of you joining us in person, there are branded vessels near the door there and out in the lobby where you could also place your tithe if you have it with you. And if you have your tithe with you, I invite you to hold it in your hands. And if you don't, please place your hand on your heart and join me in speaking our tithing affirmation. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good, and so it is. And so I speak a word of blessing over these tithes and gifts. Divine love through me blesses these gifts and the givers, knowing that each one given is given to circulate and does great works both within this spiritual community and the world at large. So standing in gratitude, I release these words. So join me in saying, and so it is. Stick around today after service. We will be doing a visioning for our lobby, so you can head out and grab a coffee and a snack and then meet us back in the sanctuary if you're interested in being part of this process. And we also have a little something special today. I would like to invite Jeff Distilio up to the stage. Come on up here, Jeff. So we have some new class coming up, and Jeff has been in a lot of our classes, and we have fell a little bit behind in giving him all of his certificates, so we wanted to bring him up here today and honor him by giving him his certificates for mental equivalence, all for you, buddy, foundations of the science of mind, and the power of your word. So we have Jeff, our master manifester here, taking all of these classes so he can speak about the usefulness of these classes and how much they've worked in his life, I'm sure. So if you guys want any information about classes, see me or talk to Jeff and ask him about his experiences, and we'd love to help you out. Thank you, Jeff. So speaking of classes, we have a really great new class, which is a foundations level class. So not as heavy as the actual foundations class, because this is split up into two. This is the spiritual principles and practices class with Grevin Gregory tool. This will be Wednesday evenings beginning October 6th through November 3rd. So it's 5 weeks. We will be skipping October 27th. And it will be on Zoom from 6 to 8:30. Your $199 investment goes towards your workbook, and the certificate will be good towards practitioner training prerequisites. And in addition to that, this is one of the classes that you would need to take in order to serve on leadership or to be a member of our center. So in this 5-week session, you will learn the principles, practices, and methods used in the science of mind. You'll identify a personal goal and learn to use the science of mind principles, practices, and methods to manifest it. You'll apply the practices of self-awareness, practicing the presence, compassion, and gratitude, much of which wonderful Juan mentioned today in his talk. You'll create a plan to incorporate spiritual practices and methods into your everyday activities, and you'll present a visual of your goal in its manifested state. So what a wonderful class. I invite you all to register for this, and please do not let the price be prohibitive of you signing up. If you need financial assistance with it, if you want to work out payment plans, or if you just aren't in that prosperity space of knowing that you have that money, please talk to us and just don't let that be an option. It's a very confidential thing, and we will work something out with you because we want you in this class. Our Prosperity Consciousness book study is continuing with our wonderful Malika Davey and Linda Lloyd. They meet on Tuesdays on Zoom from 3:30 to 5, and it's $30 a month. You can visit the CSL Cape Coral.org website and click on the event on our calendar, or check your email for the link to register. Same for the Spiritual Principles and Practices class. Have you wanted to learn more about energy healing? Join Patty Carney, I keep getting that wrong. Holy Fire 3 Reiki Master Teacher. She facilitates the instruction of Reiki 1 and 2 on Saturday, October 16th and the 23rd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We had a teaser demo of this last Tuesday, and I have to tell you, I've never had Reiki through Zoom, but I was moved. And I was one of the doubters of Reiki when I first done it, and it was just an amazing process and completely annihilated any disbelief that I had in it the second that I was finished. So I urge you to learn more about that, and if you have any questions, you can visit our calendar at cslcapecoral.org. You can check the email for your link to register. You can contact me, or you can reach out to me, and I can put you in touch with Patty if you have any questions. We have a Zoom meditation group with our fabulous practitioner, Karen Gidley. She meets Wednesday evenings on Zoom from 6:30 to 7:30 for a spiritual reading, meditation, and discussion. It is a $5 suggested love donation, and you can visit our calendar on cslcapecoral.org. I can't say that enough. Or check your email for the link to register. Peace Day in the Park is back, and we are very excited about this. We always have a booth at the event. It is Sunday, September 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I think setup starts at 8. We have volunteer opportunities available for a.m. and p.m. shifts, so check our calendar on cslcapecoral.org or watch your email this coming week for the link to register as a volunteer. Midweek tune-up continues Wednesdays at noon. We are outside under the oaks, weather permitting, socially distanced with masks optional. Coffee service is back. Please help yourself to some coffee and pastries following celebration, and donations are always appreciated. Our food drive continues, and we thank Randy for delivering those to the Cape Coral Caring Center, who is very appreciative of our donations. You can drop those off Tuesdays or Thursdays when I'm in the office from 10 to 2, Wednesdays during midweek tune-up, or Sunday mornings, and we appreciate your continued support. And don't leave today without your 1-minute miracle. Our practitioners will be available for prayer immediately following service. They will be up at the front of the stage during Standing in the Light, so you can recognize them. Please go up to one of them, and don't leave with something heavy on your heart. We want to make sure that we are lifting you up before you leave here today. And then we're going to have Mimi come up. I think she's going to talk about our art wall a little bit.
Hi, everyone. Today's the last day to put a bid in for the auction for Brian's art, and he is graciously donating 100% of the proceedings. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. And so next week starts our new gallery, and we are asking people to bring in art that they aren't hanging anymore, that they love, and that's stuck under the bed or behind the bureau, and we'll be selling that, and the final date of that will be the potluck Sunday in October, which is the third Sunday in October. Last Sunday? Okay, it's the last Sunday in October. And so take a look and see what you have, and we're going to be selling that. And then one more thing, anybody in here who is an artist, we'll be looking for somebody to display their art after that, and we would love to be able to display your art. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mimi. I've got dibs on that sunset painting out there, so I'm just saying, y'all see my name, don't write anything over that. And now it's time for Standing in the Light. So I invite my practitioners to come up to the front here. And when we stand in the light, we stand knowing the truth of a situation. We claim the outcome we wish to see and not focus on the problem. If you're joining us virtually, I invite you to write what you're standing in the light for in the comments, and we will hold that with and for you. And so I am standing in the light for the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, my spiritual home, just seeing it growing and thriving and knowing that we are that divine goodness, that divine beingness that is seeking to express more and more right here and right now. Standing in the light for a new minister. Standing in the light for Gail's sister. Standing in the light for Callie. Standing in the light for Mahoney. Standing in the light for Gail's family and friends. And I'm standing in the light for Jennifer and Alex in their new union. Standing in the light for your daughter. Standing in the light for Carol. And I'm standing in the light for all of the unspoken prayers. And I just know that there is just that one thing that is permeating, penetrating, and flowing through, in, and as each and every one of us. And we are stepping up in a big way to display that big, beautiful light of God within. And so I just know that each of us is blessed and a blessing as we go out into the world today with this message and this light heart, just knowing that we are the spot where God shows up. And so it is from that space that I give such gratitude for all that has transpired here today for each and every one of you. And in that gratitude, I release my word to the law, knowing that it is unfolding with great grace and great ease and great expedience. And so together we claim this by saying, and so it is.
We let joy